I've been making content around Marvel Tōkon essentially since the game got announced last year, and to me it is very easily one of my most expected video games of all time. But by this point, I'm really starting to question myself, like, how big can this game actually be? So just for fun, let's talk about it. And by the way, let me know if you actually like this style in which I'm on the screen with the game and all of that. I think that it looks kind of cool, but let me know in the comments, what you think, so I see if I actually invest on buying a real green screen so that it looks better. Thank you. So let's talk first about the most obvious point about all of this, which is that this is indeed a Marvel video game. And by this point, I don't know if there's anything as big as Marvel in just media, gaming, and stuff like that, because it really feels like if you do something with Marvel and it is not the most mediocre stuff ever that you're gonna see, it tends to do really well. And I do feel also that if you're fair with Arc Sys and the work that they've done around this game, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, just look at the background, man. The X-Men stage, for example, it looks incredible, and the overall graphics and style of the game is top tier. Maybe I look bad with the weird green screen shit that I haven't been able to figure out, but the game looks incredible. And then the other thing that I feel many people are kind of like underestimating about this game is that it's pretty good on the fan service. Like, there is so much love for Marvel in general in the game as a product, and like every time that there was a reveal or trailer for this game, the most common and like or share stuff was always related to like the voice acting, and that is not the most, hardcore fighting in common that you're gonna see online. So I do feel like it is appealing to people that just love Marvel and not only like, fighting games and that's it. So I am pretty confident on the power of Marvel as an IP to push this game in popularity, but how exactly is it gonna be? Then the other thing that we don't have that many details about, and it's probably really important, is just the content that the game is gonna have. We do know that there will be like a real story mode, right? And it has around 10 or like 12 hours when it comes to how long it's gonna be. And that's not that bad. Like, it's kind of similar actually to something like Mortal Kombat, but at the same time, it's like the only info that we have. We don't have any confirmation on like the casual online game modes that the game is going to have, or other single player content that might be available when Tōkon comes out. But it is a pretty good start that it has a real story mode, right? With a real narrative, a ton of fan service, but we really need more, and I would love to have more info about it. I feel like it could just make it so clear if the game is gonna be a gigantic success or not, but I do feel like just having that hint that we, have good story mode and some like online content that is not only playing rank is a pretty good start. The other thing that I feel is really relevant now, especially that we know all the characters that are gonna make it into the game, is that the roster is pretty freaking good, if you ask me. Like, a lot of the time people get into fighting games mostly because of the characters, and I feel like in this roster in particular, if you're just a fan of Marvel, there's kind of like a character for everybody. I don't think that a majority of the audience is actually gonna struggle when it comes to picking a character or a team that they want to play. So I am really actually happy with kind of like the roster selection, and I truly feel like it is, a pro, not a con of the game. So I think that everybody is gonna find a character that they like, and it's gonna maybe push them to try the game out. Now, sadly, we do have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is that this is a fighting game, and a lot of the time fighting games can struggle when it comes to trying to attract a new, like, bigger audience into the genre. But even Arc System Works themselves had done games in the past that did pretty good when it came to going outside of the fighting game community and the more hardcore fans of this genre of video games. Now, I do have to say that when you look at Tōkon and what it is as a product, to me, it is very obviously kind of like the upgraded version of what Dragon Ball FighterZ was. In terms of product design in particular, it feels like they're really pushing for the same level of quality and fan service in like the inspiration of the game in the IP, but then trying to make, Marvel Tōkon be like a better product when it comes to, game modes and stuff like that, and things that people can do in the game. So, oh wait, you can't see that. But yeah, I do trust Arc Sys when it comes to trying to like make a game popular outside of the fighting game community and just make fighting games bigger, because they have actually done it in the past. And within, like the optimism that I can have as a fan of fighting games, there are multiple games in the last few years that have shown that if you make a fighting game that is really high quality in terms of visuals and the gameplay is fun and engaging, right, there's ways to learn that don't feel extremely exhausting for a new player, and it's full of things to do that are not just jumping online and getting wrecked by a 40-year-old that has been playing Street Fighter tutorial since the 90s, then yeah, people actually want to play fighting games, but you gotta give them stuff to do that is fun And it's not only about learning and just getting good at the game, because that is not the only goal that people have when they play a competitive video game. They also want to just have fun. And from what it seems, Tōkon is following that path as well, just like Street Fighter 6, in which you give people a ton of things to do, just give them an environment in which they can have fun, and then learning and getting good at the game becomes second nature. It becomes just natural and more automatic, and it doesn't feel like homework. So I really trust ArcSys to also maybe be able to achieve that, hopefully, just like Capcom did with Street Fighter 6. But then there's one thing that actually kind of worries me, and it is this game right here, Wolverine, that comes out 1 month after Marvel Tōkon. And at the end of the day, you know, the economy and the overall state of money in the world is not necessarily the best, and AI has made hardware, technology, and video games much more expensive than they need to be. So there's probably a lot of people that have to choose that are Marvel fans between buying Marvel Tōkon or buying this bad boy here. So do we really think that a mass of people is gonna prefer to buy like the Marvel Tōkon fighting game that looks really cool, but it is still a fighting game and maybe it is not the most immersive, you know, single player experience, instead of buying a game like this that looks badass and it's also really cool? I don't know. It actually kind of worries me, to be honest, that Tōkon is gonna come out so close to Wolverine. But I do hope that it doesn't become a problem, and actually a lot of people can just enjoy both games if they have, you know, the financial opportunity to do so. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this, you know, let me know what you think about Tōkon. Is it gonna be really one of the biggest fighting games of the last decade, or just a normal, you know, video game when it comes to the numbers that fighting games can pull out? I actually feel pretty confident that it can be very big, so hopefully that is the case, so we have another super successful fighting game. And also Marvel, of course, is so exciting for anyone out there that likes the Marvel IP and also just enjoys video games in general. So like and subscribe again if you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you actually like this format. It's a bit more relaxed, you know, more conversational with different style of editing. And if you guys like it, of course, I'm gonna need to buy a green screen, so let me know. Take care and see you on the next one.